Hi, this is Dr. Deborah Zucker, and welcome back for our fourth and final video in the Personal, Collective, and Planetary Health module. And this video is on unleashing our vitality. And when I say unleashing our vitality, I'm integrating these three different realms that we've been touching into. The individual, so personally unleashing our vitality, collectively unleashing our vitality, and unleashing the vitality of the world at large. And I'm going to paint the picture of what I see it takes in the essence to unleash our vitality by breaking up the teaching of this video into 5 guiding principles: nourishing our whole selves, aligning with life, pruning our lives, receptivity, and we each matter. So let's start off with nourishing our whole selves, and clearly this is a huge topic, and I've actually already created an 8-week program just on this topic, and that even feels like an introductory look at it. But just to say that one aspect of unleashing our vitality is committing ourselves to cultivating our awareness to be able to step into the role of being our own healer. And we've already touched into aspects in this module, but just to emphasize and bring greater attention, that it involves learning and developing the skills and capacities to nourish all aspects of ourselves, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and that we're seeking the support we need in order to learn to care for ourselves for the long haul. So we talked about that before around really opening to seek out the experts, the people who specialize in different aspects of our own self-care that we can learn from, and then have that translate into feeling empowered and confident and clear in how to navigate forward in our lives in a sustainable way with caring for ourselves and supporting our own thriving. And with this, each of us contributes towards our collective flourishing by supporting our own. And we each are the only one in charge of this for ourselves. I want to emphasize that again. Again, it's one of those things that intellectually seems really obvious, but to actually be living from that place of knowing that no one else is in charge of stewarding this body and being but you. And to have that evoke a sense of motivation, drive, clarity, that this is a top priority. Caring for yourself so that you can flourish, so that you can contribute the fullness of your life expression to our collective flourishing, to the flourishing of the world. Aligning with life, this is intimately related to everything we're talking about. But just to bring specific focus on it right now, aligning with life is listening for what brings us uniquely, vitally alive. It's different for each of us. And to listen to what allows us to thrive, to what elicits that clear yes, like I am here doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. This gift that I'm giving myself right now, I just feel myself coming alive with it. This offering that I'm making, it feels like I was made to do this. And we steward ourselves into unleashing who we're here to be, our unique expression of life. We can't look to others for this alignment with life. It is solely up to each of us to be listening in and heeding the feedback and following that, to really allow ourselves to come into a sense that we're here doing what we're meant to be doing, that we're choosing to live into our full potential, and that we're opening vulnerably, because it is a vulnerable opening to actually choose consciously to awaken to the whole experience of life. And to allow ourselves to step out, be seen, give of ourselves fully. It's incredibly vulnerable. And this is aligning with life. Pruning our lives. This is intimately linked with aligning with our lives. It's taking the orientation of constantly cutting away the old growth to allow for the fullness of the natural and organic blossoming that's wanting to happen for us. It's not like we do a big pruning once and then, whoop, we're set to go. Like, this is a constant process, a constant revisiting of letting go of what no longer belongs in our lives on every level, from physical belongings to relationships, to jobs, to where we're living, to the kinds of habits we're engaging with, the exercise routines, the diets, like everything. It's a constant questioning, a constant listening for the feedback of, well, what actually matches where we're at now? What actually feeds us now? What nourishes us? What allows us to really open to who we're becoming? And in doing so, and having the courage to continue to prune all the time, we free up our energy to be fully devoted to what we have to give to life. And this next one, receptivity, is another layer of that. So the echo of what I just said is freeing up our energy to be fully able to receive what life is giving to us. So just as a connection here, freeing up our energy to be fully devoted to what we have to give to life, and freeing up our energy to be fully able to receive what life is giving to us. Consciously inviting in what does belong, what does nourish, what does support our vital health. And recognizing that we create so much dis-ease and so much tension through closing ourselves off from receiving what is generously offered to us all the time. Perhaps because it doesn't fit into our sense of identity, or our pride kicks in, or we have some wounding around it, that we're not actually able to open to receive. So it takes practice, and it takes a cultivation of our awareness to be able to see the gifts, first of all, to see them, and then to say yes without reservation. And again, this comes from the orientation when we are connected with being a vital part of life, that our expression matters, that we matter, that our flourishing matters. Then we do what it takes to steward ourselves in that way. And from there, the different ways in which we can habitually get hung up around, a sense of who we are, who we're supposed to be, or, the pride or the wounding. We can let that drop away as we connect in with that deeper place of what really matters in life, and trusting in our own capacity to guide ourselves towards our own blossoming, our own thriving, our own coming alive in life as a gift to life. And so what I was just saying ties right into this principle. We each matter. So when we see ourselves as part of life, one thread in the web, we get that what we each do and how we show up is vitally important to the health of the whole. Because we are life. We are the world in need. We are each other. And the challenges in our world are no longer an abstract idea, yet they're actually an extension of ourselves. We feel ourselves rooted in an innate connection to it all. So again, I'm going to pause for a second here, because this is different than intellectually getting that we're connected to all. We actually drop in and cultivate the awareness where we feel our innate connection to all. And from that place, we cannot help but make ripples as we let life flow through us with more juice and more vibration. And as we do so, as we show up more fully in our vitality, as we unleash our vitality in that way, the vibrations move through the whole web. And no one else but you can express and offer what you uniquely are here to be and do. Your unique healing gifts are absolutely needed. So again, tapping into that acknowledgement that yes, you're part of the whole, but you're a unique part of the whole. No one else is here to live and do and be what you are here to do. So pausing for a second, I can feel sort of the momentum in myself of everything I'm saying. So pausing to let all that digest and percolate as we transition into this next slide. So feeling and tuning in to how all that's landing in you. What's it triggering? What's it opening? What's resonating? What's not? How are you feeling yourself in the context of what I'm speaking to here? And then to say, the health of the whole. So all those principles that we just went through, those 5, apply at whatever level we look. So I was focusing thus far in the teaching of them at the individual level, speaking directly to you as an invitation for what you might evoke and focus on in your life. And yet they apply just as well collectively and at the planetary level. Every single level, individual, collective, planetary, they all interpenetrate and inform one another. So as an exercise now, I'd like to invite you to listen through those different lenses. So we've already gone through at the individual level, but now listen to these questions at the collective level. At whatever stage of that you would like to orient, whether it's, a very small kind of local social network, or you want to look at the entire human family. But listen for that in this. How are we nourishing ourselves? How are we aligning with life? How are we pruning the old growth to allow for the fullness of the natural and organic blossoming that is wanting to happen? How are we opening to receive? How are we living as if we absolutely matter? Each of us, all of life. And I'm going to just go through them once more, and I'd like you to practice trying on orienting from the global level, the planetary level. How are we nourishing ourselves? How are we aligning with life? How are we pruning the old growth to allow for the fullness of the natural and organic blossoming that is wanting to happen? How are we opening to receive? And how are we living as if we absolutely matter? Each of us, all of life. And feeling the intersection of all of those, the principles with each other, and the individual, collective, and planetary with one another. So I'd like you to take some time now to really sink into the implications of the questions posed on the previous slide. Consider them again for yourself individually, for us collectively as a human family, and for our planet. And I'd invite you, if at all possible, to invite others to join in the dialogue with you, whether or not they're actually taking this module, participating in this particular learning community. I encourage you to talk about this, to process it out loud in dialogue with other people. And I'd like you to journal in a personal way about what is evoked for you in these questions, given where you are currently at in your life. So going deeply personal and applying this. What are the implications for your life moving forward? Who are you here to be? So really tuning into what's evoked in all those questions and asking yourself these questions of what are the implications for your life moving forward, and who are you here to be? And I always encourage, with this kind of journaling practice, to do stream of consciousness, where you just don't allow the editor to come in, and let things flow. Let yourself be surprised by what comes out. Let the guidance flow through without you needing to figure anything out. And then finally, as a way to wrap up this module, as you sink into all of the learning, I'd like you to come up with 3 concrete commitments that will move you towards more fully unleashing your vitality in the world starting now. So when I say concrete, the invitation is to make them something doable, practical, real, that you can look at and know that you are engaging with. Rather than some lofty intention that it'll be hard to see and track how you're making any movement or engaging in momentum towards that intention. And so share these 3 concrete commitments with at least one other person or a learning community who you trust has the capacity to witness and lovingly hold you as you live your way into these intentions. All right, well, that wraps up our learning together in this module on personal, collective, and planetary health. And it's been an honor to be of support to you in your learning and healing and transformation. And I trust you will integrate this in ways that will move you towards unleashing your vitality and your true offering as a gift in our world.